Hi, I'm Taylor Hall, Public Information Specialist at the City of Miami Beach, and your host for this special Vote Miami Beach program. The Miami Beach City Commission has authorized this program to inform our residents about the upcoming Miami Beach general and special elections to be held on Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. During this program, you will have an opportunity to hear from the candidates themselves, as well as learn about the 2 Miami Beach ballot questions. The City Commission consists of 6 elected commissioners and an elected mayor. Commissioners are elected for a term of 4 years and a term limit of 2 terms. Terms are staggered so that half of the commission is elected every 2 years. The mayor is also elected every 2 years with a term limit of 3 terms. The November 7th election has been called to fill the mayor's seat, currently held by Philip Levine, the Group 2 commission seat, currently held by Michael Mike Rico, and the Group 3 commission seat, currently held by Joy Malikoff. 4 candidates have qualified to run for mayor. 2 candidates have qualified to run for commissioner in Group 2, and 2 candidates have also qualified to run for commissioner in Group 3. The candidates will speak in today's program in the order that their names will appear on the official ballots. Each candidate will have up to 5 minutes to speak. The City of Miami Beach has not edited the speeches in any way. The 4 candidates for Miami Beach Mayor are Kenneth R. Bariski II, Dan Gelber, Daniel Kahn, and June E. Savage. Here's mayoral candidate Kenneth R. Bariski II.
Friends and neighbors, I'm Kenneth R. Bariski II, but you can call me Ken. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to share with you why I am your candidate for mayor of Miami Beach. We have a beautiful place to call home, but clearly there's still a lot to be done. Unfortunately, we have a long history of corruption and waste. That needs to change now. Our government seems to work for only a few interests rather than all of us. I'm here to change that. Together, we will work to make sure that our government supports all of us. It is a government by the people, for the people. One of the biggest issues we face here on the beach is crime. How many times have they told us recently, crime is down? Yet everywhere you look, a shooting, a stabbing, a robbery. Every time I walk to the beach, I'm propositioned with all variety of drugs. Yet it's theft of dirty linens or merely riding a bicycle that actually gets you arrested. We have one of the largest per capita police forces in the nation. It's time we give them some real leadership and force the bad guys out, both from within our ranks and from the city as a whole. We deserve safe streets. And speaking of streets, let's talk traffic. Let me be blunt, traffic is not the problem. Traffic flow is. Done well, cars, bikes, pedestrians would all move through our city with ease, safely, without a fear, and without getting stuck in gridlock. But that requires intelligent engineering. It requires education. It requires actual enforcement. We can make that happen. One thing we need to make stop, though, overdevelopment. It seems every time you look, some big developers come in, built up, grabbed the money, and left town. The gridlock traffic and the other stretched-thin infrastructure that forces on us, that's not their concern. That's our problem. So how does this happen over and over and over again? It's actually really quite simple. It's a little game of us versus them. First, they come in and they turn us against each other. They get us to bicker and argue amongst ourselves. Citizen versus citizen, small business owner versus property owner. And while we're doing that, they pull their strings, they take their money, and they run. And we all lose. Well, fortunately, the answer to that is really quite simple. We respect each other. We work together. All of us want the same thing, a better Miami Beach. I'm here to facilitate that. We are blessed in that we have some of the brightest minds in all sorts of industries here on the beach, and all are committed to making our home a better place. We need a government that is going to embrace all of us and create a city that we can be proud of. So, what are your dreams? What is your vision for our city? Working together, we can make it happen. But isn't that going to be expensive? I don't want taxes to go up. But here's the beauty of it. As a tourist destination, our hospitality industry, our entertainment industry, they'll keep the tourism flowing, they'll keep the money in the coffers. We work with them, and we have the greatest place on earth to live. We can focus on other things like championing our education, our schools, our libraries, our museums. They need our full support so that all of us, young and old, can be valuable contributors to this community. The price tag, yeah, it's not cheap, but the brilliant minds they produce are truly priceless. And our arts and our cultural events and establishments, they'll continue to enrich our minds and our lives day in and day out. And we'll continue to be champions of the environment because we're Miami Beach. This is one of the greatest places to be. So let's put aside our petty squabbles. Let's stop bickering and arguing ourselves. Let's work together. Let's make Miami Beach someplace that we're proud to call home and someplace that everybody else wishes they were part of. Vote Bareski. Vote for Miami Beach. Vote for all of us. It's our time to shine.
Here's mayoral candidate Dan Gelber.
I'm Dan Gelber, and I'm running for mayor because Miami Beach isn't just a city to me, it's my home. I was born and raised here, and my kids will graduate from the same feeder pattern I attended and where my mother taught for decades. Today, our home is facing some of its greatest challenges, like sea level rise, questions of ethics and honesty in government, and congestion and overdevelopment. I want to serve to help our community address these challenges. But first, I hope that Hurricane Irma spared you its worst winds. By and large, we were lucky here in Miami Beach, and I think our city leaders did a commendable job this last month. And the work by our first responders and city employees continues to be exceptional. But we should never let down our guard. I hope we will do a full review of our performance to make sure that we get better and that we do better. So let me tell you a little bit about how I see things and what I hope to do as your mayor. As a father of 3 teenagers, I'm well aware of our current public safety challenges, which I view as utterly unacceptable. As mayor, I intend to address these issues aggressively. That means focusing on a return to community policing in every neighborhood in the city and increasing our police presence and improving our approach for flashpoint areas like Ocean Drive. Our city must be safe, and I intend to make sure it is. I know that our street raising project is on everyone's mind. We are the canary in the mine shaft, and we need to avoid becoming a cautionary tale for others. As well as mayor, I will make sure our city is constantly challenging itself and questioning our assumptions. We have to get this right. It also feels like our traffic and congestion continue to get worse by the week. When I'm mayor, I will approach all development considerations with a resident-centric lens. And our city's public schools are also very important. When I represented Miami Beach in the Florida legislature as a House member and as a senator, I helped convert our school to an IB feeder pattern and shake up an unacceptable status quo. While I commend the parents who have helped improve our schools, I'm intent on involving City Hall and public education in greater ways, as our schools have lots of room for improvement. As a former federal corruption prosecutor, I also know how important it is that government be ethical. As mayor, I will make sure our city leads when it comes to honest governance. That is why I want to create the Office of Inspector General in City Hall, a watchdog to deliver independent oversight of our city's operations. Look, at the end of the day, while we are an economic engine for the region and state, we are still a place where people live. I will be a mayor who focuses on preserving our sense of community, and one you can trust to openly, thoughtfully, and responsibly lead. My record shows I have always been that kind of leader, and I will be that kind of leader as your mayor. So I am number 71 on your ballot, and I hope I can count on your vote and support in November or during early voting. But if you want to learn more about me, you can visit dangelber.com. And if you ever have a question or you just want to get in touch, call me on my cell directly at 305-345-7879. That's 305-345-7879. I'll talk to you as long as you want about any issue you care about. Listen, thank you for listening, and thanks for your consideration on November 7th.
Here's mayoral candidate June E. Savage.
Hello, Miami Beach residents, constituents, and friends. My name is June Savage, and I am running for candidate for mayor for this wonderful city of Miami Beach. As we all know, the city of Miami Beach has been running not proactively, but reactively in our government. And that may work for other cities. I am a proactive candidate, boots on the ground, and I am out there already working with the community. I have met with your police chief, Dan Oates. I have met with transportation. I have met with our new green space. I am there all the time working to make sure our sidewalks are ADA compliant. I am an activist and an advocate for the bicycle pedestrian community. The experience that I have growing up in the city of Miami, I have worked along with wonderful people such as Xavier Suarez, the police chiefs throughout the Tri-County areas. I work also helping open fire stations. The pedestrian cycling community, when there is something that is needed, I am there for them. For Mark Sarnoff, when he wanted the bars to close early in Coconut Grove, I found a way and I helped him with the commission. So I am here to work with you, the city of Miami Beach. I am the new face. It's time to rebrand Miami Beach. We all know that we have many, many problems on our table, but I just want you to know that my number one, when I go to work day one for the city, is to make sure that we run efficiently and safely. No more new construction. We need to fix what we have now on the table. We also need to rebrand ourselves and bring back those wonderful tourist dollars that are always a glamour in the city of Miami Beach. I am your new face, June Savage, Miami Beach Mayor for 2017. Vote for me this November. Thank you.
The two candidates for Commissioner in Group 2 are Mark Samuelin and Rafael A. Velasquez. Here's Commissioner candidate Mark Samuelin.
Hello, I'm Mark Samuelin, candidate for Miami Beach City Commission Group 2. The city we love is at a critical time in its history, and the stakes couldn't be higher for this election. I have spent the past several months talking with thousands of residents. You have told me loud and clear what your priorities are: traffic and parking, flooding, public safety, and education, to name a few. You've also made it clear we need to raise the bar at City Hall, especially with respect to ethics. Before I outline my qualifications to address these important challenges, I'd like to share a bit about myself. I come from proud working class roots, and early on I learned the value of hard work. My father was a hairstylist, my mother was a homemaker, and I was the first in my family to go to college. I was young national chess champion, and am honored to be able to tutor students at Beach High and Nautilus Middle School. I bought my first home in Miami Beach in 2003 and live on the Venetian Islands with my life partner, Laura Dominguez. Our election in Group 2 is taking place under some highly unusual circumstances. I won't belabor all the clouds surrounding one of my opponents, as the facts and multiple investigations have been well documented. The obvious takeaway is that trust should really be your most important consideration. Let me tell you more about my qualifications and why I hope to earn your trust and vote. As an engineer and successful business executive, I bring specialized expertise that can really help. With the lessons of Irma, sea level rise, and flooding, now is the time to have an engineer on the commission. I stand for smart, ethical government that always puts residents first. As president of Miami Beach United, I advocated strongly for residents, and we had some real success together. We stopped the train to nowhere by holding the first public forum, and the project was shelved in about 90 days. The Coalition for Causeway Chaos said we were instrumental in avoiding a disastrous development on Watson Island with enormous traffic implications. We also got the commission to unanimously pass the Residents' Right to Know, granting residents new rights to engage on items impacting their neighborhood and quality of life. These accomplishments were as a volunteer, so I hope you see the potential once I'm a commissioner. While I'm proud of what we've accomplished, I'm equally proud of my leadership style throughout. Community building, like the Commission, is a team sport. The last thing we need are individuals constantly grandstanding for their own good. I take the role of being a community leader very seriously. You'll always be proud of the way I conduct myself and represent our wonderful city. My decisions will be made with one single focus: what is in the long-term best interest of our community and residents. I will always put principle ahead of politics and special interest. I first met Dan Gelber, who I have endorsed for mayor, when he taught County Commissioner Katie Sorensen's Good Government course. I did well and was honored to teach that course and earn Commissioner Sorensen's endorsement. With me, you have someone you know you can trust, and I want you to trust your city government even more, and that's why I'm calling for an independent inspector general who will address waste, fraud, and abuse. Frankly, we could use one right now with the situation my opponent faces with his PAC. While I hope my message has been convincing, don't just listen to me. There are 9 former beach commissioners who've publicly endorsed in my race. Interestingly, a number of them work with me on the Miami Beach United board. A number have served with my opponent on the commission. They know the job, they know the men. All 9 have endorsed me. Ricky Ariola, Joy Valakoff, Maddie Bauer, George Exposito, Saul Gross, Nancy Liebman, Jose Smith, Ed Tobin, and Dee Dee Whitehorn. Perhaps it's my engineering experience, could be my track record of accomplishment, or maybe they just trust me to always do the right thing. The choice in Group 2 couldn't be clearer. A proven community leader with impeccable ethics and a pledge of respectful leadership, compared to an ethically challenged candidate under multiple investigations, including a criminal one launched by the state attorney's office. I thank you for your time, and I ask you to vote for me, Mark Samuelin, ballot number 75, as your commissioner in Group 2.
The 2 candidates for commission in Group 3 are Michael Congora and Adrian Gonzalez. Here's Commissioner candidate Michael Congora.
Hello, I'm Michael Gongora, and I've had the pleasure of serving as your commissioner before. 4 years ago, I ran to be your mayor, and I missed being in a runoff election by 28 votes. Don't let anyone tell you that every vote doesn't matter. Over the past 4 years, you can't imagine the people that have come up to me and said, "Michael, I regret not having you in office." I know one person can and does make a difference. I've proven that before, both as an activist and as your commissioner. I thought long and hard about running again. I decided to run because I love Miami Beach. Now more than ever, our city needs my proven experience and trusted leadership. We are a great city, and we must remain a great city. Challenges are facing us like never before. Whether it's financial malfeasance, crime, climate change, sea level rise, unrelenting traffic that's the result of overdevelopment, and now sadly, hurricane recovery, we need solutions like never before. Good government is about building consensus. Our hard-earned tax dollars need champions to make sure that budgets are frugal, yet we maximize our results. Consensus building with our residents achieves those best results. In my professional life, I'm an innovative problem solver. In part, it's because of my work as a community association attorney. My daily work requires finding common ground and achieving workable solutions. At this point, I've decided to take my hard work and once again run to lead us in problem solving for Miami Beach. As your previous commissioner, I worked to safeguard our city in many ways. I created the City Sustainability Committee and was the first chair, and we worked on the environment, focusing on solutions against flooding and other hazards. There's still so much more to do. Unlike my opponent, I have a record of serving as your commissioner. I have the best training, the most experience, the the right temperament, and most importantly, I have a personal familiarity with Miami Beach homeowner associations, our community groups, and most importantly, our residents that make Miami Beach a special place. Most community groups and their leaders have already endorsed me because they know me. They know that I will work very hard to find solutions to the problems that face our city. I'm honored by their trust. In my previous work as a commissioner, I worked very hard, tirelessly, to find solutions to all of the problems facing our city. We need leaders that can lead us forward. We need employees that work hard and are valued. We need a city where our residents can move about without all of this traffic. We need a city where our seniors can find affordable and safe housing, where our children receive a quality education, and most importantly, a city that is resilient and sustainable against floods and other natural hazards. We can do this and so much more. Throughout my adult life, I've dedicated myself to making my community a better place to live. Whether as an activist or as your commissioner, I'm ready to get back to work for all of us to make our community better. That's why I'm asking for your vote one more time to please return my trusted leadership and proven experience to the Miami Beach City Commission. Whether you vote by absentee, early vote, or on Election Day, Tuesday, November 7th, I respectfully ask for your support and your vote for me, Michael Gongora, for Miami Beach Commissioner Group 3, number 77 on your ballot. Thank you for your support. Blessings to you, your family, and our great city.
Here's Commissioner candidate Adrian Gonzalez.
Hello everyone, my name is Adrian Gonzalez. I am running to be your next Miami Beach Commissioner in Group 3, which is being vacated by Commissioner Joy Malakoff at the end of the year after her term is complete. I am a homegrown candidate, raised, educated, employed, and now a second-generation small business owner of a business that my family found their diamond in the rough 1977 on 11th and Collins, called David's Cafe. David's Cafe is a staple in Miami Beach, and I am as well. I am a husband, a father of 2 beautiful boys, and in a love affair with a city that has embraced me, my family, for over 40 years. I've had the privilege of participating in the dramatic, remarkable evolution of Miami Beach into the exciting, vital, and richly diverse community that we all are so proud to call home. I watched and learned countless lessons from several styles of leadership as Miami Beach has found its way to new prosperity and to new challenges. I am running because I feel Miami Beach is a remarkable city. My love for it makes me want to make it even better than it can be. My priorities as commissioners would reflect the views, opinions that I have been privileged to hear from constituents up and down Miami Beach on my countless door knocking, which include the following: traffic and public transportation. The paralyzing traffic in our city has taken us to a standstill at times. Problems that we see in the city can only be addressed in conjunction with thoughtful, courageous review of our public transportation infrastructure and management. I want to lead that review with the intent of managing our own growing traffic crisis. Public transportation that conveniently inexpensive and consumers and meets the diverse needs of Miami Beach residents. The never-ending problem of flooding throughout the community with the current city plan resiliency, we are all at the beginning stages to see what we are doing to, if it works or if it doesn't work. We have to stay at the forefront of following technologies worldwide. will require staying on top of our city's progress and technology's advancements around the world. Increasing the city's investment in our environment, protection of our oceans and our bays, controlling what goes in and what goes out to it is very important. Improving transparency and accountability in City Hall is a vital part of any city's operation. I want to also fight to ensure our local schools are properly funded in every stage of the definition. In conclusion, I am running for commissioner because I wake up every morning and I go to bed every night thinking about how I can help to improve the quality of every resident's life. Apart from my love of family, nothing has contributed more to my character identity than Miami Beach. I would be honored if you would allow me to repay the debt to the city by lending my leadership and vision to this remarkable community. If you want to know more about me, please visit my website, adrianformiamibeach.com. Feel free to call me at 786-600-5655. Thank you, and remember to vote for me, number 78 on November 7th, and please spread the word that we need a new breath of fresh air in our city moving forward. Hope to earn your vote. My name is Adrian Gonzalez, your Miami Beach Commission candidate in Group 3. Thank you, and God bless.
Finally, Commissioner Mickey Steinberg, who currently holds the Group 1 Commission seat, was automatically re-elected without opposition. Now, before we get into the Miami Beach ballot questions, let's review some important dates for this election. You must be registered to vote by Tuesday, October 10th to vote in this upcoming election. Vote by mail ballots can be requested until 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 1st, and must be returned signed by no later than 7 p.m. on Election Day, Tuesday, November 7th, 2017. If you obtain a vote by mail ballot and then decide to vote at either an early voting location or in your designated Election Day precinct, it is important that you take that vote by mail ballot with you and present it to the election clerk. As a reminder, Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. Polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. To make it easier for Miami Beach voters, early voting will be held at 2 Miami Beach locations beginning on Monday, October 23rd through Sunday, November 5th. The convenient Miami Beach locations are Miami Beach City Hall, located at 1700 Convention Center Drive in the first floor conference room, and the North Shore Branch Public Library, located at 7501 Collins Avenue. The dates and times for early voting are Monday, October 23rd through Friday, October 27th, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, October 28th, and Sunday, October 29th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday, October 30th through Friday, November 3rd, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Saturday, November 5th, and Sunday, November 5th. Saturday, November 4th, and Sunday, November 5th, from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. On Election Day, Tuesday, November 7th, you must vote at your designated voting precincts. A runoff election, if necessary, will be held on Tuesday, November 21st from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., with early voting on November 18th and 19th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, on to the ballot questions. Over the next portion of this program, we'll explain the 2 Miami Beach ballot questions. An election guide with this information is also available online at miamibeachfl.gov. These municipal ballot questions will appear on the special election ballot following any national, state, and county issues. The purpose of this election segment is to provide objective, impartial explanations of these ballot questions so that Miami Beach voters may, in casting their votes, be more informed and comfortable with the city issues presented to them at the polls. The explanations are intended to provide general information, and members of the public seeking further information may contact the office of the city clerk. Now, let's go over the ballot questions and their respective explanations. The first ballot question is as follows. Changing alcoholic beverage sales and consumption termination time on Ocean Drive from 5th to 15th Streets. City law currently allows the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages on private property at alcoholic beverage establishments located on Ocean Drive from 5th to 15th Streets from 8 a.m. until 5 a.m. the following day. Shall an ordinance be adopted changing this current 5 a.m. termination time to 2 a.m., exempting from this time change those indoor portions of alcoholic beverage establishments that are completely enclosed and located entirely within hotels? Here's the explanation for this question. Currently, alcoholic beverage establishments located on private property on Ocean Drive between 5th and 15th Streets are permitted to offer alcoholic beverages for sale and consumption from 8 a.m. until 5 a.m. the following day. This ballot question asks city voters whether the mayor and city commission should adopt an ordinance changing the current 5 a.m. termination time for the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages to 2 a.m. for alcoholic beverage establishments on private property on Ocean Drive between 5th and 15th Streets. The proposed ordinance would exempt, not apply to, the indoor portions of such alcoholic beverage establishments that are completely enclosed and located entirely within hotels. If a majority of the city's electors voting on this ballot measure vote in favor of it, that approval will have binding official effect on the City of Miami Beach, and the proposed ordinance will be codified upon its adoption by the City Commission. The second ballot question is as follows. FAR increased for TC1, TC2, and TC3 to 3.5 FAR. Floor area ratio, or FAR, is the measure the city utilizes to regulate the overall size of a building. Should the city adopt an ordinance increasing FAR in the town center zoning districts, that is, Collins and Dickens Avenue to Indian Creek Drive between 69th and 72nd Streets, to 3.5 FAR from current FAR of 2.5 to 2.75 for the TC1 district, from 2.0 for the TC2 district, and from 1.25 for the TC3 district? Here's the explanation to the second question. This ballot question relates to a proposed increase in the current allowable floor area ratio, FAR, for the town center zoning districts in the North Beach area of the City of Miami Beach. The area subject to the proposed FAR increase is bounded by Collins Avenue on the east, Dickens Avenue and Indian Creek Drive on the west, 69th Street on the south, and 72nd Street on the north. The following is a map of the area subject to the proposed FAR increase. The term floor area ratio, or FAR, generally describes the size of a building in relation to the size of the property where the building will be located. A property's maximum buildable floor area is calculated by multiplying the square footage of the property by the allowable FAR in the zoning district where the property is located. For example, if a property owner owns 10,000 square feet of land with a zoned FAR of 3.0, the owner can generally build a building with 30,000 usable square feet, subject to any applicable exceptions in the city code. City Charter Section 1.03c, which was approved by city voters in 2001, requires that any increase in zone's FAR for any property in the city must be approved by a majority vote of the electors of the City of Miami Beach. Accordingly, the proposed FAR increase for the Town Center zoning district requires voter approval. On October 19, 2016, and pursuant to City Resolution number 2016-29608, the Mayor and City Commission adopted the North Beach Master Plan. The master plan was developed by Dover, Cole, and Partners Incorporated and received significant public input. The master plan recommended increasing the FAR to 3.5 for the town center zoning districts, referred to as TC1, TC2, and TC3 in the city's land development regulations. The goal of this recommendation is to enable the design and construction of larger buildings within the town center, and to encourage the development of 71st Street as a main street for North Beach. This ballot question would authorize the following increases in FAR. Zoning District TC1 would go from a current FAR that ranges from 2.25 to 2.75 to the proposed FAR of 3.5. Zoning District TC2 would go from a current FAR of 2.0 to the proposed FAR of 3.5. Zoning District TC3 would go from a current FAR of 1.25 to the proposed FAR of 3.5. If a majority of the city's electors voting on this ballot measure vote in favor of it, That approval will have binding official effect on the City of Miami Beach, and the proposed ordinance will be codified upon its adoption by the City Commission. You have been watching our special election information show on the November 7th general and special elections. For other election information, visit miamibeachfl.gov or contact the office of the city clerk. Thank you again for watching. Now, go out and vote, Miami Beach!